Hello, everyone. My name is Tara, and welcome to Aligning to Love. In this channel, I aim to spread hope, joy, peace, and love to the world by sharing goodness and love within my life. In this video, I wanted to talk about another form of signs from the universe that often happens to me, and I haven't talked about it on this channel yet. And that is when you hear knowledge or information from other people, whether you know them or not, and it's specific to what you need in that exact moment or time in your life. And this has happened so many times in my life, but especially in the last couple weeks. And the other week, I was with my class and they were eating snack and I really needed something to eat, but I was so busy that morning that I had just packed a lunch. I didn't pack any extra snacks. And I was thinking about how hungry and starving I was going to be and maybe hangry because I didn't have a snack to eat. And my colleague just happened to walk through the door visiting our classroom and said, "Hey, I made a batch of Rice Krispies and I wanted to share some with you." And that was the divine perfect timing because it's exactly what I needed. Not only was it amazing to see her because I don't get to see her very much this year, and she's one of my really good friends, but she also was feeding my not only my soul but my stomach as well. And she is always someone that has been watching out for me throughout all the times and years that I've known her. And that was just one more way that she did that for me. And I was so thankful and happy that she did that and that I got to see her. Another way that you might hear information that is relevant to you, often for me, when I'm waiting in the grocery store lines, I am just standing around trying to be patient while I pay for my items, and I overhear other conversations that are actually exactly what I needed to hear. Sometimes when I'm bustling around and living my life, I forget to do self-care for me. And I had really needed a haircut last week, or was it the week before? I had really needed a haircut, and I heard this other woman talk about how she just set up an appointment to get her hair done. And I had known that I needed to do that, but hearing it from someone else made me think, okay, I really am going to do this and I'm going to set that appointment up. And since I was waiting in line, I had nothing else to do. So I made that appointment right there. And luckily, I was able to get in the next day, which was so perfect. And I was just so thankful that everything lined up to allow me to do that. Another thing that happened over the weekend is that we were visiting my parents, and my car, I have been able to rebalance things in my home, but when you're on the go back and forth, my car had gotten out of sorts. And my mom said, "Hey, why don't I watch my grandbaby and you can clean out your car?" And not only did she allow me the time to clean out my car, but after I cleaned out all the junk and trash that I didn't want in it, she then went and got the heavy duty vacuum cleaner because she had just done spring cleaning in her car and vacuumed out my car, which was really amazing. And she gave me the time to do it, and then she went above and beyond and was an amazing mom and also made my life easier and did an just incredible thing for me, and I was so happy and thankful. Some other things that have happened this week that I wasn't planning on that were in the perfect moment were conversations that I was able to have with colleagues this week. Earlier on Monday this week, I had a meeting with my colleagues. We are on the equity team, and we did talk about all of the responsibilities and the requirements and the goals going forward for our committee, but we were also able to just have personal conversations and check in with how we were doing And there were so many ideas and thoughts that I was able to see in a different perspective because of those conversations. And it was also just a time that I got to catch up and hear how other people were doing, because in schools you think you're surrounded by other people, but teachers and professional staff are actually very isolated from other adults. So it's really nice when we do get to have the time to check in with one another, especially with the how the events are unfolding in our country right now. And as teachers, not only do you have your personal life with your family bubble that you have, you also are emotionally taking care of the kids in your community and making sure their families are feeling supported in that you're providing a well rounded education for their children. And so you have to be mentally prepared and in check with yourself to be able to help others. And we do that so often as educators that we don't actually get to really check in with our colleagues and really truly on a human level see how one another um, is managing. And so that was such a nice surprise. Like, I knew I was going in for a meeting, but being able to also have time to check in with one another, that was wonderful. And not only that, with how everything is going in our country right now, there's so much that is inconsistent, unplanned, and we're all in survival mode because we don't know what's going to happen next. And it's so unnerving. And one other colleague had said that because we're in this time period, while we don't feel like we deserve to be in this, we also have to, she said it in a really great way, like, because of this, it has also forced or pushed us into doing things that we wouldn't normally make time for. One of my colleagues said now they're doing yoga because they mentally need it with everything going on in the world right now. And my other colleague, who originally brought up the idea, said that one of her people that she knows in her life finally got into counseling because they are so angry about what's happening. And they've been meaning to do it, but now they finally have a way and an avenue to work through that anger. And all of us are feeling scared and angry and overwhelmed. And same with me. I have been trying to get out in the sun and trying to connect with others more, just so that I have my mental health and that I can rebalance my emotions and do what makes me happy. And the way that she had said it, I'm not doing it as gracefully as she said, but the situation has made us take time to do the things that we need to do that we wouldn't otherwise had done in a normal year. Some other things that I wanted to bring up this week that just happened at perfect timing. This week has been so hectic and busy because not only am I working, last week I was working on report cards and I'm still editing and finalizing them, but we also have parent conferences on Thursday and Friday of this week. And it was a really big surprise. Yesterday, I was doing a reading with my students, and then some colleagues from the Sunshine Committee came in and said, "Oh, can you please stop what you're doing with your students? We have a surprise for you as the teacher, but we also have a surprise for the students." And they took all of the K1 students and allowed the K1 teachers to go into a conference room, and there were treats and muffins and just food there. And they said, "You have 30 minutes and you can chat and catch up with your colleagues." And this was another surprising moment that I needed and the perfect time. We were not even aware that this was going to be happening, and we've been so in need of it. And it was just so refreshing. And we were, all of the staff that were able to participate in this, they also did it for all the other grade levels at different times of the day. And it was just really wonderful because not only was it a way for us to reconnect with our colleagues, but the students got some surprising extra fun time with peers that they don't get to see within each within each hour of the day, because they're all divided up by classrooms, and they have recess and lunch, but this was another opportunity for them to see their friends. And it was another opportunity for the colleagues to talk without having to worry about talking about curriculum or other academic or meetings that we need to do professionally. And it was just a wonderful surprise. And so I know that there's so much going on in the world and so much going on in everyone's lives, but I do think that there is timing that occurs that cannot be forgotten or just unseen. I think if we all can take the time to see the things that happen around us, or the words that are said around us that give us the strength and give us the knowledge to keep moving forward in the perfect time, it's so helpful, and it brings peace, and it brings us connection with others. And for me, it just means that it makes me feel less alone. And all of the conversations that were surprised, and that I was not planning on being able to have this week, really did help me emotionally, and it gave me more energy to keep going through the week. And so I love you all. I hope these instances happen to you as well, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.